All right, what's going on, guys? So today I'm gonna give you 4 med ball power exercises that you can utilize for athletic performance. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so when it comes to med ball training, especially when you're trying to increase your power production, we're gonna use the med ball in a ballistic fashion, and we're also gonna work through the transverse plane for rotational strength and power. So when you're doing it, you wanna pick a ball that's light enough to where you can create as much velocity as possible, but you also wanna create some force with it. So I'm gonna use my hips, I'm gonna use my feet and my legs as I go to rotate and throw that ball to the wall. Now, you don't need a wall. If you have open space, that would be perfect too as well. But the main key component here is to make sure when you go and rotate, you're using your hips, you're using your transverse abdominals, you're using your obliques and everything to rotate that ball and throw the ball as hard as possible going forward. All right, here we go. The first one we're gonna do, an underhand split stance rotational throw. The goal here is to get as much whip coming down and redirecting force going forward. So I'm gonna use that stretch reflex. As I come down, I'm gonna stretch it, and then I'm gonna rotate back. So I'm gonna use my obliques, I'm gonna use my glute, and I'm gonna use my adductor to rotate through and step forward. It's multiple joints being moved here, there's multiple things going on, but if you do it the proper way, with that good rotation, closing the angle down, it's gonna produce a lot of power. All right, so we're gonna start up top. I'm gonna take it with an underhand grip. You don't wanna be here because I don't want you to basically toss it here. I want it underhand to pull the ball down, and then we're gonna use anterior delts and then everything else in the trunk to rotate to throw the ball forward, all right? When I rotate to my hip, I'm gonna step back with my opposite leg. Boom, I drive down. I'm pulling my body down, getting that stretch in the posterior chain, and then I'm gonna rotate back the other way to throw the ball to the wall. So it's here, boom, stagger stance, rotate slightly. This hand's gonna initiate the throw as I rotate my body and squeeze my glute on this side. Boom. Right? As you step, you wanna drive forward, all right? So you're getting a lot of power and force being distributed going forward in a linear fashion with that rotational component. Rotate, close the angle down, just like you're running, and then push forward, squeeze the glute. I wanted to let you know that I am putting out a one-on-one online coaching for everyone that cannot make it to train with me here personally. Now, if you want to learn and work with some of the methods and the systems that I've been able to utilize with some of the individuals such as Joanna Jedrzejczyk, Edson Barboza, Dustin Poirier, I'm actually utilizing all of these methods and systems in my online training. So if you are someone who wants to train with Daru Strong methods, link is down below. Let's get started today. All right, so the next one is similar to the one we did before. Now we're gonna go with almost an overhand position, and I'm gonna throw the ball like I'm gonna throw a punch, right? So this is good for combat sport athletes, especially strikers and boxing, bare knuckle, whatever, kickboxing. It's also good for baseball players. It's good for anybody who's doing some type of throwing motion. So what I'm gonna do now is the same step back routine with the same split stance and the same rotation, but the rotation's not gonna come down at a 45, it's actually gonna come here through the T-spine. So I'm rotating this way as opposed to down at the angle. So you're rotating and then reversing it here. So instead of that 45 degrees, we're gonna go a straight line, all right? As I go to step back, I rotate, shoulder, lat, upper back, and then throw through. Again, you wanna work on reciprocation. So as this arm goes back, this arm stretches, you get that stretch reflex, you pull this arm back or shoulder back and throw the ball through. Be aggressive when you hit the step back. The more aggressive you are with that stretch component, the more reflex you're gonna have. That back foot is gonna bounce, so that's gonna give you added power. Just like if you were a boxer or an MMA fighter and you're doing your step back too, or you're switching your stance and you're coming forward, almost like a Superman punch. Step back, rotate upper body, keeping the lumbar spine nice and neutral, right? We're not rounding here, and we're not rotating down and crunching at that 45. We're staying upright and pulling through. Okay, so the next one is going to be a cross step or a back step underhand rotational throw. And the main reason we're gonna do the back step, almost like a half karaoke step, is to get that stretch here on the hip flexor. So when I stretch and rotate back through, boom, right? Stretch reflex, driving it through, getting that internal rotation. First, think about external rotation with the back step, and then internal rotation with that hip, initiating the throw. Last one is going to be a step back rotational overhand throw. And this one primarily is, just like I said with the last one, is that step back component. So you get the spring off of the leg from the lower leg all the way up to the hip and then rotating it through. So as I step back, I'm starting a squared position. I'm gonna step back, load, and then rotate through. So again, that stretch reflex component. Very quick on the step back. Make sure you have short time frame in between. It has to be very reactionary. All right, guys, so there you have it. 4 medicine ball exercises to improve your explosive rotational power for athletic performance. If you have any questions, you know what to do. Hit the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification, hit the like button. If you want to learn, train with me personally, online, virtually, without having to come to the gym, check out our one-on-one online coaching, now available. Link is in the description. Again, thanks again for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. I'll see you again next time. Peace.